I'm Sally Engelhardt, Grand Prix Dressage Rider. Today we're answering a viewer question, and the question comes from Elizabeth Berryman. Elizabeth asks, how do you get your horse to take longer strides in walk and trot without them getting faster? Is a half halt used when changing gaits? Okay, so I think we've got two questions there. So let's answer how do you get your horse to take longer strides in the walk and the trot? So what you want to make sure is that, say we're trotting, so you want to make sure that the horse is soft and supple. And because when the horse takes longer steps, his shoulder has to reach further forward and his hind leg has to reach further forward. For the hind leg to reach further forward, the back has to be nice and soft. So you want to make sure that you've got the suppleness there. You want to make sure that you can ask for a bend either way from your horse. You want to, if you're on a circle, you want to be able to ask the horse for an exaggerated bend on the circle without losing the line. That's the key. If you find that you've asked your exaggerated bend, you're losing the line, you probably don't have enough outside rein. You will need also, you'll need to make sure that the horse is in front of the leg. So you make sure that the horse is listening to the leg and listening to all of the aids really. But yeah, in front of the leg definitely. And then when the horse is taking longer steps, longer strides, the frame of the horse lengthens a little. So you will, as a rider, your seat will, you'll correlate with that. So when the horse's frame lengthens a little longer, he has to use his back a little bit more. And he changes his back muscles. So because of that, you want to make sure that your seat is accommodating and inviting to that. So when you, say you're trotting and you're rising trot, when you're rising, you want to for the longer steps, you want your hips and your spine to be a little looser, so that the horse can correspondingly loosen his back and reach forward more with with all of his legs. And then for the shorter trot, you want to be more modest in your rising. You want to stay closer to the saddle and not rise so far out of the saddle. You want to have your body a little bit braced. Not so much braced that the horse thinks you want a downwards transition, but just a little bit more braced. So a little bit braced and then a little bit supple for the lengthen, and then when you come back to shorten, a little bit braced again. I hope that answers the question. That should answer the question, how do you get your horse to take longer strides in the walk and trot? And then Lizzie asks, is a half halt used when changing gaits? So if you're going from walk to trot or trot to walk, yes, definitely the half halt is used to help set the horse up. So you say you're in your trot and you want to go into your walk. You don't want the horse to just slump down on all his coronet bands. You want him to carry himself well into the walk and take a nice big clear first walk step so that you get a nice forward marching walk. So in the trot, you'll set the horse up with your half halt so that so he's listening, he's ready, and he's also contained the trot a little bit. He knows there's something coming up. He starts to sit a little bit. And just when you're taking your trot to the walk, when you're making your downwards transitions, you can think about shortening the stride ever so slightly. And you wouldn't do it for, you shorten the stride for 3, maybe 4 steps. And that's where your half halt comes in. Use your half halt, shorten the steps, make the transition into the walk. The half halt keeps the wither light. That's the aim of the half halt, keep the wither light so that the horse sits down into his transitions. And so he comes down kind of like an aeroplane rather than a dive bomber. So thanks, Lizzie. Thanks, Elizabeth, for your question. And if you've got any questions of your own, don't forget to put those in the comments section below and we'll pick one to answer next time. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you then.